Hello, beautiful soul. How are you doing in this stormy time, in these days that are becoming darker and shorter, and we are meeting some of the underbelly of our emotions and old traumas and old stories. Oh my God. So today I thought I would like to tell you a story. A story is also healing. To tell it, to listen to it, to write it. And this story is an old story that is been told many times. And I would like to tell it to you because I just told it to my son who just left home and moved into a new life in university. And it was interesting to to relate it to ourselves in this stage. When I heard it the first time, it was for different reasons. You probably know this story, but I will start. And the story is about a young person wanting to learn about life, and he joined a monastery where he can practice meditations and movements and breath and connect to the universe and to the earth and to learn from a great master about the secrets of life. One day he has a meeting face to face with a Zen master where he can ask anything he wants. And he is asking about a lesson that he can experience in order to understand life. He thinks it's a very clever question. So the Zen master will give him something he doesn't give to everybody else. And the Zen master said, let's go and have a walk in the garden. And they are walking slowly in a walking meditation. And they come to a point where there are trees, and in the trees they can see a cocoon hanging. One day, say the Zen master, this will be a butterfly. And I would like you, as it is in the early stages, to follow the process of how the caterpillar wrapped himself or wrapping itself, and what will happen in the process. And I want you to guard it, to watch it and learn from it. And the student is so excited, is so happy, something really concrete no other student got. So he are taking his time few times per day to go and observe the caterpillar being slowly wrapped and changing, and there's changes all the time. Every day there is a change. It's become something else. Until the wrapping of the caterpillar becomes stronger and more solid and more encased, the changes of the colors and the shapes are enriching the life of the students. He really learns so much, the young man. And then, with his sitting in meditation and observing, came a point where he starts to see the complete folded butterfly inside. Like if he looked in a particular angle from the sunlight, he could see the butterfly is complete, and it's not a caterpillar anymore, and it's folded and it's beautiful, and he's following the process of this wonderful caterpillar, and he sees that he is now starting to move and trying to break the hard casing of the shell that became his house. This is magnificent to see. And the seeker is following, and he's so eager to prove to his teacher that he's a great devotee, that he has respect to nature, and that he is support the Mother Earth and all of its animals. And he's watching the butterfly trying to break the casing and to come out. But it doesn't work. The butterfly cannot do it. The animal inside cannot do it. It's hard, and he can see that it's struggling, and his heart is breaking, and he's afraid that it will fail, and then he will fail, and then the Zen master will think that he didn't care, that he didn't watch, that he didn't help. He's trying to think, what can I do? What can I do? And while he's watching, the casing still totally complete, and the animal inside still trying to break it open, he come up with an amazing idea, and he goes into the workroom and find a very, very fine knife that can create a very thin slice in the casing that hopefully will help the butterfly or the animal inside to break the casing easily. And he is making this incision very carefully, and that breaks the casing, and the butterfly come out, and it's magnificent. And he opened his wings, and it is amazing to see how the caterpillar that was such a different animal turned to become this magnificent butterfly. And the boy, the seeker, is so excited. The butterfly opened his wings, then he falls into the ground and he cannot fly. And he cannot fly. And after a few hours, he dies. And the seeker is so heartbroken. And he feels so guilty. Maybe he didn't do something. He didn't care for it good enough. And he's taking the dead, beautiful body of the butterfly, and he's asking for a meeting with his Zen teacher. And he's admitting his failure. And he shows, my butterfly didn't have his 3 days of life. He didn't fly far enough. He died. And I did all that I could. I did all that I could. And the Zen master is looking with concern and with care, and understand the broken heart of the boy. And he reassures him, you did all you can. But let me teach you something about the process of metamorphosis of this butterfly, from a caterpillar to a butterfly. And this is one of the lessons I would like you to have for life. He said, on the time, after he was asking him what happened, and the boy was saying, I did this, and then I did this incision in order to help the butterfly break the casing, which of course the Zen master knew. And he says, you know, in the time that the new animal that became from a caterpillar to a butterfly is struggling to come out of the casing, in that time that looks to you like a struggle, this is the time where all the new and forceful juices are coming and transport themselves from the caterpillar into the wings. The struggle to push against the casing is the time where all of this life force is spreading from the core of the new butterfly into its wings. So every minute that looks to you like a senseless struggle is actually the time where the caterpillar butterfly is building the strength of its wings all the way to the end, to the tips. So when the time comes and he can break the casing, the butterfly can spread themselves, and they have a power until the last edges, top corners of all of its wings, all of its wings. And this is an amazing, amazing force of nature. And the seeker is lowering his head, and he understands that by making incision in the casing, in a cocoon so it can come out. He robbed the butterfly from this process of bringing all of its life forces, juices, all of the way to all of its beings. And he feels sad. But then the Zen master smiles at him with beautiful compassion. And he says to him, "You did good. You did all you could. And this butterfly purpose was to bring you this lesson." So this butterfly, who didn't live for full 3 days, brought its purpose to you to bring you this lesson, that every struggle that we have is an opportunity to bring all of our life force juices into our being and allow us to transform into a new kind of animal. And for a moment there is quiet. And the Zen master and the seeker boy looking at each other with great understanding. And the boy saying, "Thank you, teacher, for teaching me such a valuable lesson." They say goodbye, and the boy leaves the temple, remembering the time where his parents could not care for him as they did his other sisters and brothers, and send him on his way to live in the monastery so he will have an opportunity to expand his life and to make something out of himself that they could not offer. And how hard it was to miss home, to miss his village, to miss his family. And he looked at it differently. He realized his own struggle and his own homesickness has made him a magnificent butterfly too. And with that lesson, he was at peace. And this is a story I wanted to tell you, because I'm sure you can recognize in yourself time of struggle. But especially now, all humanity has this lesson. All of humanity at the moment is going through the birth canal, is the birthing channel. It is hard time for many people. It's hard time for people to watch other people going through difficult time. There is breaking downs of system and belief systems that are painful to watch or painful to experience. And every one of us is bringing the subconscious things to the surface, and that's not easy. But we are transforming into a new animal. It takes few years, it takes few months, it's intense, but it brings with it a new horizon we cannot even imagine. So I would like you to remember this story when you feel that struggling to be true to yourself, struggling to make your voice be heard, struggling to say who you are, to do the things that you believe in. Even that it's hard, it makes you a better version of you. And that the universe is loving, and Mother Earth is loving, and humanity is magnificent. And listening to your own voice and connecting to your own source is what takes you forward into your own purpose. So I hope you enjoy that story and that you will take it in your heart and have compassion to yourself in the same way the Zen master had for the young student that needs to experience new learnings. I hope you enjoyed it.
Let your words be free. Let Let your voice be heard.